What's up guys? Welcome to another TT.MVMNTS calisthenics tutorial. Today we're going to be running through a workout for the tuck planche on the rings. Let's do this. Tuck planche is a move that combines balance and strength in the same movement. So I want to start with a warm-up just to get everything going because we're going to be working a lot on protraction, so bringing the scapulas forward and depressing them, and we also got to get the core warmed up for this movement. So let's start with the warm-up. Alright guys, we're going to start off in a plank position and we're going to lock those arms, so lock those elbows, bring the hips forward, protract, come down while keeping those arms locked, and then protract again. So let's go for 10 of these. All right, for the next one, we're gonna get the core warmed up. And because it's really important to know what the hollow body position is when you're working in a planche. So see how my lower back isn't touching the ground? You want to round the spine until your lower back is touching the ground. So let's go for 5 reps with this one. Now that we got warmed up, we're going to start with one of the fundamental movements, and that's learning how to be in that external rotated position and the support hold. We're going to start on the floor, so I want you to get into that position just like when we were doing the scapular motion from the floor, but we're going to go on the rings. We are going to put our feet back, hips forward, protract, and then turn these rings out, and then back in. So let's shoot for 10 reps with this one. I just want you guys to focus on the form with that one. No worries if you can't do it right away. It's going to take a lot of practice. But again, just remember, don't let those hips come up here. Push them forward, and you don't want to be down here. You want to protract that scapula and depress it with those hips forward the whole time. So that way we're getting the most out of the movement to progress to the planche. All right guys, for the next one, we're going to start building some more strength in this movement. So I want you to take the form from the last move that we just did, and we're going to translate it into a push-up. So hips forward, protract. We're going to drop down, rotate up at the very top of the movement. One of the main things that I want you guys to focus on with this one before we jump into them is that you aren't flaring your elbows. So make sure that you're not bringing your elbows out. I want you to keep them tucked in at that 45-degree angle, and then drop down, and then rotate through. We're gonna go for 8 of these.
Perfect.
Next one, we're going to be focusing on that same movement that we've been doing. So those arms locked and scapula protracted. We're going to start with our knees on the ground. We're going to use our toes to help bring us up into that tuck planche position, and we're rotating the arms as we come up. So we're going to shoot for 10 reps with this one. guys, for this next movement, now we're gonna focus more on shoulder strength and balance with this one. We're gonna be doing pike push-ups on the rings. So, form's gonna be a little different on this one than what we've been focusing on, because we're going to lock our knees, pike our hips up, and we're going to drop down, like we're gonna touch our nose to the ground, and then give a little rotation at the top. So we're dropping down, back up, really focusing on getting a little bit of a lean. We aren't going directly in between the rings, we're going a little bit in front of them, and we're gonna put a lot of pressure on the front shoulder, and that's what you're gonna need to build strength for the planche hold. So we're gonna go for 8 with this one. With that move, the more you pike up, the harder you're gonna make that one. So even if you start here, that's all right. Just move those feet forward, really pike up and drop right down, just like we were doing before, just with more pike to it to make that one harder. All right guys, for the next one, we're gonna get a little comfortable with that lean for the planche. So we're gonna be doing some planche leans on the rings. Focus on that form like we have been. So we're going to hips forward, core tight, glutes tight, protract, depress, turn out, use your toes to lean forward, and then come back. So we're leaning and right back. We're gonna shoot for 6 reps with this one. Next one, we're gonna be getting the chest on fire with this one. We're gonna focus on that position, protracted, hips down. We're gonna rotate out. We're gonna leave these externally rotated the whole time. We're gonna tap them, bring them out a little bit, and then tap them again. The further you go out with this one, the harder it's gonna get. So make sure you control it and just bring it out a little bit to start with, and then back in. So we're gonna shoot for 10 reps with this one. Make sure you're keeping the arms locked with that one the whole time that you're moving out and back in. If you need to do it knee assisted, you can, or just go for 5 reps, 6 reps, and just try to work up to that 10 rep range. Every single time you do it, try for that extra rep. Even if you don't think you're gonna be able to do it, I want you to push for it and try. You'll get it. All right guys, now we're gonna go for that tuck planche hold. So focus on everything that we've been working on, protracting, depressing, the shoulder blades, locking those arms out. We're gonna rotate, and we're going to actually lift the feet up off the ground this time. So I want you to try to keep your toes tucked up to your hips with this one. And we're gonna shoot for 5-second holds on this one. So let's do this.
Perfect.
All right guys, even if you get just a few seconds on that one, just raising your feet up off the ground is gonna give you a ton of strength in that movement and stability. It's gonna be really shaky at first. It's gonna be really hard to lock out that elbow, but that's gonna be one of the main things, is locking out and keeping that position the whole time. So even if you're here and you just come right back down, that's gonna be enough for this one. All right, now we're gonna focus on the core some more. I know all these exercises are working the core, but now we're gonna work it a little more directly. So we're gonna go back to like we did with that warm up with the hollow body. And we're going to go here, press that lower back into the floor, knees up, and then feet out while keeping that position the entire time. So we're kicking out and then back in. We're gonna go for 10 reps with this one. Last one, we're going to be doing a hollow body plank. We're going to drop down onto the elbows and press back up. And main thing with this one that I want you to focus on is that you're not rocking side to side, and we're keeping that protract, hips forward. We're dropping down, and then we're pressing right back up into it. We're going to go for 5 per side with this one. So all on one side, pressing up, and then we'll switch 5 on the other side. Alright guys, that's the tuck planche workout. I want you to shoot for 4 sets with this one, with the rep range at each exercise. You can go through it circuit style, so one exercise after the other with 30-second break in between, or strength style, where you do all 4 sets of each exercise before you move on to the next one. Alright guys, again, if you like the video, please like it, subscribe it, share it if you can, and I'll see you at the next TT Movements video. See you guys. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna end it going up into a straddle planche and then cue the intro.